Yes, hello. Welcome, class. Today is the 26th of November 2017. November is almost gone. Oh. This is the last Sunday of November. And we're going to enter December. And God will keep us till the end of December. And we'll go on to 2018, 2019, 2040, 2050. Should I keep going? All right. I'm reaching you from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where I'm here on the mission for the African Union. I'm back in Lasso on Wednesday. By the way, we're going to have a class on site meeting. I'm going to meet with you on Friday. On Friday in Lasso. I'll let you know the time. One of my PhD students is defending a thesis at the departmental level. So it may be towards 1 o'clock or so, 12:01 or something. I'll let you know. So today we'll be looking at something quite interesting, and I will begin with some segment of it, which is stages in software engineering, then case study of Windows 10. I will give you the background, and you will then take the case study of Windows 10 one by one. So, what is software engineering? Well, I defined it last year, and it's very straightforward as the application of engineering rules to the creation of a software. So, like Busayo and Beleyi, you're developing a software. You are developing some software for your students. So, if you apply engineering rules to the development process, then that is simple software engineering. Now we have different models of software development process. There are several models. Don't bother yourself about digging in deep into them. Just know that there are the following models. There's the agile model, there's the incremental model, iterative, prototype, RAD or RAD if you like, the spiral, the V, and the waterfall. Now, regardless of the type of model, they all follow some typical life cycle of the model. Recall that I asked you just now, and Beleyi and Busayo, were able to tell us give us some insight into how the software is developed from their understanding at this stage. But the truth of the matter is, they found that there are 6 steps. Some will take it to be 5 steps, but we'll see as we go along. 5 steps when you are developing the software. Busayo and Beleyi, the way you were doing it. The first thing to do, of course, is to, like Busayo said, you do what is called requirement gathering or a needs assessment. You want your students to be able to use some software for learning mathematics or computer studies, logic gate, and all of that. So you want to find out their needs, because if you start developing software without detecting or assessing their needs, then it will be an exercise in futility. So when you have requirement gathering, design, I will go into a little more detail during the course of this introductory presentation. Then you design, you implement or code, you test, then you deploy. After deploying, then you begin to maintain. So as you can see from this diagram here, it is not just like a linear thing. They all loop among themselves. Requirements, the design, construction, testing, maintenance, and then you can go back to construction. If you have tested that is, and you find that there are some bugs that will need to be fixed, construction, back to your design, you redesign. So there's some kind of loop going around it like this. Now let's take them one by one. When you say needs assessment, now what will we need to do? As I gave the example, you conduct a study, to determine what the people will use the software, what they need. And the kind of questions you ask is, who is going to use the system or the software? Who is going to use it? Let's take Microsoft Word, for instance. Who is going to use Microsoft Word? Now, what will they use the software for? What processing, other things that they will need to use software for? I'm getting some disturbance from somebody here. Excuse me. All right. So what are they going to use software for? What other questions do you think will arise when you are doing the needs assessment? Johnson. Yes, hello, Johnson.
Hello, sir.
Yes. What other things? What other software? What other things will you? What other questions will you be asking? Okay, let me just go on.
What,
You want to ask how will they use it? How will they use the software? What data you need to input into the system, and what we will expect as the output from the system. And the next thing, no, the product of that is a document which you call the requirement specification document, in which you provide answers to these questions. And it is the answers that will now guide you to the next step, which is software design phase. Now, the software design phase, what do we do there? We design the software based on the requirements that have been specified in stage one. Now, in doing that, the work is divided into modules. You divide, the task into modules, and then you begin to code. Now, this will see you writing tons and tons and tons of codes, and from experience, this is the longest phase of the software development cycle. It takes quite a lot of time. You keep coding, debugging, and all of that. Then, so when you've got something ready, you then go ahead to test. So let me ask the class, what does that mean? Testing. What does it mean? Yes, Johnson or Bilei, you have developed the
yeah,
software now. You now want to test. Yes. What does it mean?
that means I want to know the effectiveness of. I want to see the specification based on requirement specification that I have done earlier. I want to see whether I really actually got everything based on
Yes.
that needs assessment, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Anybody to add to that?
Yes.
Yes, Bilei.
It's about circumstances.
Yes.
You test. Testing means you want to first and foremost before you take it into the computer, you must do what we call a walkthrough. You have to the code you have written physically. You have to assess it to see whether there are errors or you have written the codes in order where you're supposed to write them and arrange them. So before taking it to the computer. So in the computer, you are
Solomon, don't go the pedestrian way. Your software is developed, maybe you call it beta version, or you go to talk about beta version, then you test it. You said you want your students to be able to use, like Bilei, what you have developed, you want your students to be able to use it to, what are you testing the thing on? Is it Logic Gate, your e-learning
yes,
platform? Aha, fine. So you go and test it with some of the students to see how they are reacting to the platform and to the system generally. And surely you'll find some little things that you have not addressed, and then you come back, to address it. Let's go on to, so you test, the testing is, the code is tested like we agreed to ensure that what you have actually meets the need of your students or of the market of your customer that you detected or assessed during the first phase. So the test that you conduct will include unit testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing. These are functional testing, all the ones I mentioned earlier. And then you also do non-functional testing. So after testing, you then deploy. You've tested and you deploy. Your deployment will mean that you will give to a sample of your customers, of your students, of the group that the thing is meant, and this is called beta testing, like a beta version of the software. It will assume now that there are some errors in codes which are called bugs that you will detect. You recall that when you are using some software, you get this message when there's some hiccup somewhere. They will ask you, do you want to send this to developers? And if you say yes, it goes to them, and they will keep improving, maybe putting patches or correcting the codes and all of that. So that's beta testing, and when everything is all fixed, more or less, then it's finally deployed, and then you start with your maintenance of the software. So the maintenance will mean keeping check of all the bugs or problems that will arise and fixing them. So that's essentially what maintenance means. So in this diagram, I provided you the flow. As I said, it's cyclical, and there are loops moving all around the place. So having given this background, let's move on to the example of Windows 10, and then we're going to start taking your presentations. So let's have Willie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'd like to take you first. Let's take you Windows 10. It's midnight my time here, midnight, 12 midnight. So we're going to move a little bit fast. We normally have like 8 minutes per person. So we're going to make it like 7 minutes now, and I just have 1 minute for question, so I can
Okay, sir.
exit this class by about 1 o'clock. So give us the timestamp on your submission. What timestamp do you have? Yes, Willie. I think it is Willie. Willie, can you hear me?
Yes. My timestamp is
9:28.
Yes, sir.
9:28. So let's open 9:28. Let's see what Willie is giving to us. Yeah. So you have the floor. Please carry on.
Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, class.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. It's a pleasure to be on this platform once again. And my introduction simply shows the topic for the presentation. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes. From my first slide, you could see the topic and the history, the author or the inventor of Microsoft himself, and our able distinguished professor.
But by the way, this man called me emeritus professor, Solomon. Yeah, I think he's not. He doesn't know the difference between. No. Just for your education, what does it mean? What does emeritus professor? What does it mean? Do you know, Seth? Do you know? Okay, the man doesn't know. He's just using words. So, Bele, please carry on.
And that's why I'm very, very.
Bele, please carry on.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So I'm moving to the second slide. Are we there?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, class. Okay. The second slide is just showing the outlines of my presentation. So, my third slide is on the introduction. Microsoft Windows have been 17 major softwares or major versions since its first release in 1985.
Sorry, class. 1 minute. Sorry, class. Can you use that word software for the purpose of as a plural for the purpose of our discussion today and forever and a day? Can you just call it software rather than softwares?
Okay.
I will tell you there's a thin line, as difference, just like hardware and software. Is that okay? Yeah. So go ahead. Yeah.
So I said over 33 years, Windows look differently, but somehow familiar with elements that have survived the test of time, increasing in computing power, and most recently, a shift from keyboard and mouse to the soft screen. So I'm moving to the next slide, which is just a brief definition of what OS is, that is operating system. Simply is an interface between hardware and software. I move over to the next slide, which gives us why Windows.
The word window simply describe one of the most obvious differences between graphical user interface and the command line. The next slide, please. The first customer, one thing that interests me while making my search on this work is about the one that I underline with the blue ink there, MIT, and particularly because of the relationship we had with MIT and our able professors and the school itself last week. So I move over to the next slide. Are we there?
Yes.
Yes, that's the first customer for Microsoft there. So the next slide. Is the class with me?
Yeah, just go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay. So the next slide is just simply what's the problem here?
Yeah.
Hello, class.
We can hear you.
Just go ahead, Mr. Gwilei. We are hearing you.
System we have, apart from the one we want to talk about today, we have the Mac OS, the Unix, and the MS-DOS. So I move over to the next slide, which is just the basis, the onions of our gathering tonight, which is the historical development of Windows. And on different slides here, you will see from Windows 1 and its pictures. The next one is Windows 2 and the picture there.
Can you say Windows rather than Windows 1, Windows 2? Windows.
I'm on slide 11 now, Windows 3.0, and you can see the view on the slide there. I move over to the next slide, Windows 3.1.
Windows.
Next slide, Windows 95. The next.
Yes.
It is Windows 10. We could see the differences in the interface. Then I want to talk about the features. You see, I have been able to line up some of these features from the Windows 1 to Windows 10. So I don't want to dwell much on the others, but I want to go to the last one, which is Windows 10. Are we there?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Yes. So majorly on that Windows 10, I want us to look at some basics features that makes it different from the other one. Some interesting features include the ability to switch a keyboard and mouse mode and a tablet mode for those computers like the Surface Pro 3 with a detachable keyboard. Another feature that is very interesting to this Windows 10 is that the fast startup and resume, built-in security, and return to the start menu in an expand form. This version of Windows will always feature Microsoft Edge, Microsoft browser, and qualified device such as the tablet and the PCs can upgrade Windows 10.
Yeah. We're losing you now.
So it is on slide 37. Are just my references. Thank you for listening.
All right. Thank you very much, Gwilei. What we'll do for today is that we'll just take you all in a batch. And if somebody asks, want to ask a question at the end of it, that'll be just fine. Joseph Amuide, you are next.
Okay, sir. Yes, I'll go straight to the second slide. Historical development of Windows 10 operating system, and I try to display the operating system. Then I move to slide 3, where I have Windows chronology.
Yes. We are losing you now.
3.1 1992, Windows 95, 1995 up to Windows 10 that was launched in 2015. Then the next slide, the first slide now, I talked about the history again and tried to break everything down, and we look in depth into the future of all the Windows that all the Windows that have been produced by Microsoft.
We don't have that slide. The slide that you have after the Windows chronology is new features. Is that correct, class?
What I mean by the new features is talking about going straight to Windows 10. And the new features we have with Windows 10 are this. We have start menu. Unlike when Windows 7 and we had start menu on Windows 7, but on Windows 8 we do not have that.
Not window, not window, Windows. Windows. Put an S after it.
Yeah, Windows on Windows 8 we do not have the start menu, but now on Windows 10 we have that brought back, and then we have one Windows for all devices, container, new native apps and app store, Microsoft Edge browser, improved.
Yeah, we're losing you now. Okay, I think.
And I did.
Okay, take 1 more minute to end this thing because we're losing you. It's not coherent.
On slide 7, I have the container. The container is what make the voice that you are able to use your voice to relate with Windows 10. And then on slide 8, we said Microsoft Edge replaces Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer has been what has been in previous Windows, but now on Windows 10 we have Windows Edge. Then on slide 9, we have improved multitasking multiples.
Yeah. Losing you again.
Desktop to do several things at the same time. Then we talk about universal app can be windowed. Then we talk about central notification on slide 10, whereby you have is called, some people call it action setting, whereby you have everything that you want to do, just like everything that drops into the system, you have every one of them on the Windows, just like you have it on your phone. Then on slide 11, talked about universal app can be windowed. Universal app, which previously only operated in full screen mode, can now be used in traditional Windows on the desktop. Then on slide 12, I have one window for all devices. Now with Windows 10, Microsoft has done it in a way that every device that is using Windows 10 is the same. They are using the same Windows 10, and that is the last slide. Then the next one is my references. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Johnson. So Busayo, take the floor.
Okay, sir.
When do you have your timestamp is when?
9/17.
Yeah, 9/17. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Carry on.
Okay, sir. Good evening, class. I'll be talking briefly on the brief history of Windows 10. Now let's go to my slide 2. Now, Windows 10 is a personal computer operating system, which was actually released and developed by Microsoft as part of the Windows 10 family. Now, it was officially released in
Yeah, losing you.
The operating system consists of a virtual desktop management system, such as your tax view, and it also consists of the Microsoft Edge web browser that is actually used for your fingerprint and your face recognition login. Now, the operating system has several features which distinguish it from the previous Windows. That is the Windows 8 that I have on my
Not
slide.
window. I mean, I don't know what to do with this class. It's Windows.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That I have on my slide 3, features of Windows 10. Now, I'm going to describe the features of Windows 10 under new user interface, system security, storage capability, online functionality and service, multimedia and games. Last was actually used on the start menu. That is to say that the start menu can be resized and expanded into full screen.
Windows 10 also consists of the virtual desktop system such as the Start View, which is also used to open windows and switch between them. Now, on the same Windows 10, there's what we call the Windows Store. The Windows Store. Now, this Windows Store serves as a unified storefront for apps. The operating system consists of two user interfaces. Firstly, we have the user interface that's actually optimized for the mouse and keyboard. And you also have the user interface that is also optimized for the screen touch. Then secondly, we have the system security that I have on my slide 4. Sorry, I have that on my slide 5. The system security. Now, Windows 10 actually introduces another authentication system, which was actually designed by the FIDO Alliance. Now, this operating system includes support for biometric authentication through your Windows NO or Passport platform. Now, which tells you that devices with actually supported camera can allow users to log in through their face, through their fingers. Now, don't also forget that the enterprise version of this Windows 10 also include additional support, additional features. For instance, administrators of that operating system can set up policies, that will actually encrypt sensitive data, and also administrator of that operating system can also set up policies that will also prevent illegal software from getting access into the user's encrypted data. Then on my next slide, that is my slide 6, where I have my storage capability. Now, in order to reduce the storage fingerprint, the operating system helps to compress the system file. For instance, now the Windows operating system reduces storage fingerprint to approximately 1.5 gigabytes for 32 bits and 2.6 gigabytes for 64 bits. And also apart from that, the Windows 10 also includes a function which allows users to view the breakdown of data storage and how data are being used or are being stored either internally or externally. Then on my next slide, I have online service and functionality. Now, Windows 10 also include a new web browser called the Microsoft Edge web browser, which features standard complaint, annotations, and integration. And also apart from that, again, you can also use the operating system to listen to several music online and so on and so forth. Then lastly, I have on my slide 8, where I have multimedia and games. Windows 10 also consists of what is called the Xbox, which is actually used by the user to browse several catalogs of games in the library. Then lastly, on my last slide, I have the DirectX 12 and the WWDDM. Now, these two features are used to improve the operating system graphics for games. And lastly, I have my references. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Gweleyi. Can we move to Ademola Lawa? Lawa, did you send in something?
Yes, I see.
Yeah, okay. So what is the timestamp on it?
The timestamp
6:12. I can't say anything. 6:12.
Sorry, 6:18, not 6:12. 6:18.
Okay. All right, I'm loading your. Looks very nice. The colors are good. So you have 34 slides which you have to present in 6 minutes. Please go ahead.
Thank you of all operating systems and computers. So I'll be moving to the next slide, which is the slide where I talk about the timeline of Windows, the MS-DOS down to the Windows 10. So on the next slide, I talked about MS-DOS, which was released at August 1981. It's a Microsoft X operating system, and it has all this command line interface because it's operated using command. So Microsoft bought an existing operating system from C2 Computer Products for $75,000 in 1981. I'm moving on to the next slide, Windows 1.0, which was released on 20th of November 1985. So it's a 16-bit multitasking shell on top of an existing MS-DOS installation. It was just an improvement of the MS-DOS, and that's a limited multitasking. That's a screenshot of the Windows 1. The development of Windows began after Bill Gates saw a demonstration of physical PC on. So I'm going on to the next slide, Windows 2.0, which was released on 9th of December 1987. This Windows allows application windows to overlap and is the first version to integrate the control panel. That first version that we had the control panel. On March 17th, 1988, Apple filed a lawsuit against Microsoft and HP, accusing them of copying
copying the Macintosh system because it has more to run Windows application with reduced memory issues and also has a better memory management. It was developed based on work by David Weiss and Mary Sargent in 1989. I'm moving on to the next slide, which is the Windows NT, which was released after the Windows privilege. So Bill Gates hired someone that we call David Kotler from DC to design the Windows NT. He was the one that designed it. Now, moving on to the next slide, the Windows 95, which was released on 24th of October 1995. Sorry, 24th of August 1995. Yeah, it's on these Windows that we started having the tax bar and the start button, and it also moved to more the tax type 2-bit architecture. Windows 95 support for 255 character, mixed case long file names. So I supported 255 characters. So I'm going on to the next slide. When I talk about Windows 98, it was released on 5th of June 1998. It has improved power management and network management and USB support. It started supporting USB. And I also had the standby and hibernating mode. You can see the screenshot of it. And it was on these Windows that we have the drivers. So there was driver management on these Windows. So I'm moving on to the next slide, the Windows 2000, which was released on the 17th of February 2000.
Go ahead.
Added NTL, that's the new technology file system 3.0, the Microsoft Management Console, and the encrypting file system. So a number of new assistive technologies to support people with disabilities were also introduced for people that were digital media and networking tools, and also had restricted access to real mode MS-DOS. So it was criticized, as I said, for speed and stability issues. A PC World article dubbed these Windows a mistake edition because of its very short shelf life. I'm moving on to the Windows XP, which was tagged the strongest of all the Windows OS. It has improved software and start menu and also better networking features, and also had a very good GUI. The graphical interface was just very cool. And in comparison to others, it was the first Windows to use product activation key so that it was going to reduce privacy issues. So it was the first Windows XP. Windows XP was the first Windows to have the integrated speech recognition. Some criticism of Vista was that it has high system requirements and it was more restrictive. It has more restricted licensing, and I did some other criticism. Let me move fast to the next slide, where I talk about Windows 7 the most. Windows 7 is actually the most used Windows operating system. It has support for virtual hard disks, better multi-core processor performance and kernel, and also have touch and handwriting recognition. It was intended to address the criticism faced by the Windows Vista, such as performance improvement. And now moving on to the next slide, where I talked about the Windows 8.
You have 2 more minutes.
12, I listed some of the features.
Yeah, Lawa, we are moving on to Windows 10. So why don't you move very fast? We are spending too much time on. Yeah.
Okay, so after the Windows 8, Windows 10 was released on the 29th of July 2015. On Windows 8, the start buttons was removed. So on the Windows 10, Microsoft reintroduced the start button. So I'm moving on to the next slide, where I started talking about the features of the Windows 10, which is also the start menu that was introduced. I'm going on to the next slide. One Windows for all devices. Windows created the Windows 10. Microsoft put in Windows 10 in such a way that all sorts of gadgets have have this OS created for them. So both your tablet, both the mobile phone and the laptop is up. They all have the Windows 10. So I'm moving on to the next slide, where I talk about another feature of the Windows 10, which is the Cortana. Windows 10 brought Cortana voice control digital assistance Cortana to make it easier for you to interact with your device without lifting a finger. It's like a voice prompt that you can use to instruct your computers on what to do. I'm moving on to the next slide, the improved multitasking. A new multiple desktop feature lets you run another set of Windows as if on another screen. So you can actually be running a lot of stuff and you'll be seeing all of them on your screen. I've added a picture of this, I'm sorry. So I'm going on to the next slide, where I talk about Continuum. With the rise of hybrid, what is introduced back is to go back to the PC mode. So that's what the Continuum is all about. Then the last slide is action settings. Excuse me, Mr. Action settings. Windows 10 provides a new way to look at all notifications in one place. It collects alerts from your devices from all your apps, similar to the notification drawer like in our smartphones. That will be the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Wonderful. So Jeremiah, if you are set, what's the timestamp on your file? 4:18, I can see. 4:18. Yeah, okay, fine. Good. So you have the floor.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening. Yeah.
Our topic for today is historical development of Windows 10. I quickly move to slide 3, where I just want to compare Windows 10 with the previous window before it, which is Windows 8.1 and 8.0. The first feature there, let me quickly go to the introduction. What is an operating system? It's a program that after being initially installed into the computer, it manages all the resources, both application softwares and the hardware connected to the machine. Now, the Windows itself was developed by Microsoft Corporation to run on personal computers with a graphical user interface, and the first one that was developed was IBM compatible. Now, quickly move to the slide 6. Now, where I want to talk about a particular feature that Windows 10 have over Windows as we usually have it on Windows 7. Now, the next one I have classic versus universal. Now, what is this classic? What is this universal? Now, in Windows 8 and 8.1, applications from the Windows Store took up the whole screen. Now, in Windows 10, you can have like five of your programs running on the screen. So you can configure your Windows 10 in such a way that you can have like 5 of your programs running on the screen at the same time. And that is the picture of what we're seeing on my slide 8. Now, another one is the Internet Explorer 11 in Windows 8.1 was replaced by Microsoft Edge. Now, Microsoft Edge is very effective. Talk of copyright, it prevents copyright. Yes, there are some websites you get to that Windows Microsoft Edge will actually prevent you from copying some content or copying some numbers of content on that website. So it takes care of copyright and slide 10. I was talking of container. The container is a new feature that is added to Windows 10. And in Windows 10, you can actually search. You can search online or search within. And this container is very sensitive in such a way that it's going to check your search method. How do you frequently search for your files? So it's going to save your search method, and whenever you're looking for any information on your computer, it understands that search method you used to use to search your information either on your computer or online, then it will activate it and get your file for you. So that is talking of the Windows container. And the last slide, that is
Okay, that's fine. Wonderful. Well done. Right. So very well done, Jeremiah. So let's take on the last presenter, Solomon Abam. You have the floor. What is the timestamp?
340.
Pardon, 4:20 you mean?
340, sir.
that was for Uche.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay. Yeah, let's see what we got there. 340.
Yes, sir.
One minute. Yeah, okay, please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
colleagues. I am here to discuss historical development of Windows 10 operating system. And this has to do with the development of application software. I'm quickly going to my slide 2. Slide 2 here, I try to draw attention to how Windows came to be. The development of operating system with a graphical user interface was something that started around 1980s. This is when Microsoft decided to give Microsoft this operating system, which is called MS-DOS, a graphical user interface. And this that Microsoft created, with this Microsoft
excuse me, Solomon. Since we are the last to present, you just have 5 more minutes. You are spending time talking about this one. We are going to Windows 10, and you are spending you just refer to all the others who have presented before.
Okay, sir. My slide 3 looks at the types of Windows versions, and we have it for Windows 1 and 2, which was not actually functional because of limited availability of software. Then we move over to Windows 3.
My friend, can we say Windows? I mean, it's just very painful for me today.
Windows, and from Windows 3.1, people begin to use it. It begins to make meaning to people, and that is how we continue from there. Windows 8, Windows 8, Windows 98, Windows Millennium, Windows NT. From there, we have Windows 2000. From Windows,
Solomon, do you want me to stop this presentation? The moment you say window again, there'll be trouble.
Windows, sir. Thank you, sir. Windows. So from Windows XP, we begin to have versions of that Windows NT. That Windows NT means new technology. So all these other Windows that we are having from Windows XP is that version. We are having it 5.1. Windows Vista is 6.0, and Windows 7, Windows 7, 6.1, Windows 8, 6.2, and their features are there. I'm moving to Windows 10. Windows 10 is the latest among these Windows, which was released in 2015, and it was given free to those legitimate users of Windows 7 and Windows 8.1. And it combined the features of these two Windows to suit the users of desktop and laptop computers, as well as
mobile devices. Are you sure you are still there?
states. Now, when we say Windows 10, what do we mean? We say that Windows 10 is a family that comes with a range of devices, not just the system itself. Phones, game consoles, and other handsets are also encompassed into that word Windows 10 operating system, because they are all having something in common. Then we look at the versions of Windows 10 Enterprise that it uses 64-bit desktop PCs. For example, we have it with Windows 10 Mobile and Xbox operating system. I'm moving to slide 9, where I look at the common codes that have been used as a way of all other ones that have been having issues based on, due to the complaints of different people that were using it. I move on to slide 10, which talks about the features of Windows 10, which the first one is a new approach to update and upgrade. Not like the previous ones that update is always a problem for it to do. Now, systematically, when you are on, you are on. Users account and synchronization. A new default browser.
Can you round up now, Solomon? Can you round up, please?
Okay, sir. So, the strength, before I round up, the strength of Windows 10 are in my slide 12. There are a lot of changes due to users' significant among all of them is the security enhancement and new browser, which is that I've mentioned. And it also tries to remove anxiety that comes with other versions. And it delivers a new features that makes things ready when you are working with them.
All right. Thank you very much, Solomon. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. All. Dima Lawal, Bileyi, Johnson Famuide, Oluwa Busayo, Adele, Jeremiah, Solomon Abam. You've done very well to give Windows 10 an example of development of the software, and we looked at it as operating system, and you've all done very well. Your slides are very good, but which one is the best? Who presented the best in terms of slides and in terms of sequence? Who did? You're all keeping quiet, but you know the truth. It's Deborah Lawal. Lawal's slides were clearly the best. Your slides were clearly the best. I'm so impressed with it, very impressed. And also with the presentation. I'm impressed with the presentation of Bileyi, of Famuide, of Busayo, of Jeremiah, and Solomon. You all made very good presentations. Now, the question is, you've seen the different developmental, you've seen the developmental history of Windows, and we're now Windows 10. What is the future of this operating system? What is the future? Have you ever thought about it? So think about it. In our next class, we'll be looking at the future of the Windows operating system. You can see everything is moving at a decent pace. You have all other competing OSs, but Windows is moving in a very strategic direction, which I'd like you to reflect upon. I'll be discussing in our next class. So my time is fast spent here. I have almost like 18 minutes to 1 a.m. I'm in Addis. I'm sure you are tired, but not as tired as I am. Hello, good day. Yes. After service in Lagos today, I then took a flight. The flight left Lagos at 1:30, and we just arrived this day not too long, 6 hours. No, almost like 5.5 hours, to here. But well, that's how to become a man. It's not a day's job. So okay, class, you've all done very well. I've taken the attendance now, and I'm going to put it on a chat window. So the next class is going to be on Wednesday, and I'll be sharing the listing with you, a topic. So until then, but we're seeing on Friday. Friday is a physical class. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So good night.
Yes, sir.
Good morning to me.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Okay.